Good day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. So GoPro has just launched their brand new 360 camera, the Max 2. This is an upgraded version to the original Max that was released about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. So in this video, we're going to compare it to some of the other offerings on the market, such as the Insta360 X5 and the newer DJI Osmo 360. In this video, we're going to be comparing footage, both spherical footage that's been reframed and also single lens mode footage, because all three cameras are capable of capturing in spherical video, but also single lens mode, which allows you to capture more like a traditional action camera. Now, we're not going to go over every single feature of each camera. I don't want this video to go on too long. We're going to stick to the main selling points, the key aspects of each camera. That way, if you're in the market to purchase a 360 camera, it might help you decide which one will be best suited to you. Now, to start off here, which is an important selling point for some people, is that the GoPro Max 2 and the Insta360 X5 both feature user replaceable lenses. With that said, the GoPro one is a little bit easier to change. It's simply twisting and pulling it off, putting a new one on. You can do that easily out in the field. The Insta360 X5 has user replaceable lenses as well. However, it does require some tools and a calibration at the end. It is fairly easy to do, but it takes a little bit longer, and it's something that might be a little bit tricky to do out in the field. Unfortunately, the Osmo 360 does not have user replaceable lenses, but with that said, they do offer a lens replacement service that is actually cheaper than buying these lenses and doing it yourself. The only downfall is that your camera will be gone for a couple days or a week while it's being repaired. When it comes to charging the camera, which can be important as well, both the Insta360 X5 and the Osmo 360 both support quick charging, which you can have your camera approximately to 80% in about 20 minutes, a little over. Whereas the Max 2 does not support quick charging. It has an Enduro battery in it, but it does take significantly longer to charge. Now, if you have multiple batteries, that may not be so much of an issue. But if you're running just one battery, it can take quite a long time to recharge it. Now, they all offer a magnetic mounting system. The Osmo 360 is fully compatible with the DJI magnetic mounts for all of their cameras, which is a nice feature. Plus we have a 1/4-20 in the bottom there, which is more of a traditional way to connect a 360 camera. Again, the Insta360 X5 supports magnetic mounts from the Ace Pro series, and again a 1/4-20. And again, the GoPro Max is compatible with the magnetic mounts that was launched alongside the Hero 13 Black. And they actually take it a step further. Of course, we have a 1/4-20 there on the bottom, but they also have fold-out, more traditional GoPro mounts. So you have three ways in which you can connect this camera. All three cameras support GPS, where you can embed GPS telemetry into the videos and overlay that over your footage. However, with the GoPro Max 2, GPS is built right into the camera, whereas with the Insta360 X5 and the Osmo 360, it does require you to purchase an additional accessory. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. Now, all three cameras support a flat color profile. However, with the GoPro Max 2 and the DJI Osmo 360, they both support 10-bit color. Now, when it comes to being able to connect a high-quality microphone to the cameras, DJI offers a dedicated microphone using Osmo audio. You can connect something like their Mic 3, Mic Mini, the DJI Mic 2. You can connect it directly to the camera. Insta360 offers their Air mic, again, which can be connected wirelessly directly to the camera and offer you good quality audio if you're going to be using the camera for vlogging or other scenarios like that for social media. Now, you can pair a Bluetooth microphone such as AirPods to your GoPro Max 2, but the quality isn't quite as good. If audio, being able to connect a quality microphone to your camera is of high importance to you, definitely the X5 or the Osmo 360 is the way to go. Now, with that said, the audio system on the DJI Osmo 360 is much more robust. You have many more controls, options, and settings that you can adjust when you have one of the microphones connected. So if audio connectivity is one of your most important things that you're looking for in a 360 camera, the Osmo 360 is the best choice. Now, all three cameras have decent audio when using the built-in microphones. So I'm just going to play you an audio sample now from all three. Alright, so here's some audio coming from the GoPro Max 2. It's important to have decent audio on these action cameras because you don't always have the luxury of connecting a third-party microphone. And if you're out doing some vlogging and you want some nice audio, it's important to have good audio built right in using the built-in microphones. So again, this is audio coming from the GoPro Max 2. So now here's some audio coming from the Osmo 360, the DJI Osmo 360, and it has pretty good sound, I find. And with it, you have the luxury, you have the simplicity of connecting wireless microphones using Osmo audio, which works really well. You have a lot of features, and it's just a nice, simple way to get good audio. But again, this is audio coming from the Osmo 360 using the built-in microphones. And finally, here is some audio coming from the built-in microphones of the Insta360 X5. It has pretty good audio as well using the built-in microphones, and with it they have their Air mic that you can connect wirelessly directly to it if you need to improve the audio even further. Again, this is audio coming from the Insta360 X5 using the built-in microphones. Now, listening to that back, you probably notice that the GoPro does have more of a muffled sound to it. I find the audio a little bit clearer on both the DJI Osmo 360 and the Insta360 X5. Now, when it comes to deciding what camera is right for you, price can be an important deciding factor as well. Now, the prices I'm going to quote here are coming from Canada in US dollars. So depending where you live in the world, the prices could be slightly different due to different import fees. But right now, the DJI Osmo 360 is at a really good price. There's actually some really good Prime Day deals available for some of the DJI products, including the Osmo 360. According to the DJI website, you can get this for $365. So it's by far the cheapest camera. It's well over $100 cheaper than these other cameras here. The Insta360 X5 is on sale right now as well. The regular price is $549, but it's on sale for $499. And GoPro has it listed, its regular price at $499. So if you're budget conscious and you're looking for the best bang for your buck, $365 is an incredible deal for the Osmo 360. Now again, that will depend on the country in which you live. So that's some general information about the cameras. Let's go over some of the selling points and some of the pros and cons of each specific camera. GoPro is stating that the GoPro Max 2 has true 8K. That's kind of one of their big selling points. Now, all three cameras do film in 8K, but GoPro is saying that it has approximately 20% more resolution. Now, when we get into the sample side-by-side footage, I don't know if that really translates into real-world footage. And you'll see what I'm talking about here coming up in a minute. The lenses are extremely easy to change out in the field. It has built-in GPS, and it supports GoPro Labs, which allows you to do some really incredible things with it. Now, some of the cons of the GoPro Max 2 is that it can overheat a little bit quicker than some of these other cameras. In real-world testing, I have not had any of these cameras overheat while using them in real-world situations, like on an e-bike, walking around with it. But the potential is there. If you're filming stationary for a long period of time in 8K, there is a potential for it to overheat. I did a test here on my desk just to see which one could last the longest in this type of environment. Just keep in mind that's not a real world situation. It's not too many times you're going to be recording at a desk with no air movement. The GoPro Max overheated at 25 minutes and 28 seconds. That was filming at 8K 30 at a high bitrate. The Osmo 360 at 8K 30 at a high bitrate overheated at 66 minutes and 49 seconds. So it was able to record over double the GoPro Max 2. Now the winner in the overheating test was the Insta360 X5, recording at 8K 30, again at a high bitrate. It was able to record for 93 minutes and 25 seconds, and then only shut down because the battery ran out. Now, some of the key selling points of the Osmo 360 is that it has built-in memory, 105 gigabytes. Now, of course, that can be expanded further with a memory card, but it is kind of nice to have that built in case your memory card fills up while you're out filming, or worse yet, you forget a memory card. You still have 105 gigabytes of storage to work with. When filming in single lens mode, the Osmo 360 can capture in 5K, whereas the Insta360 X5 and the GoPro Max 2 can only capture at a max resolution of 4K. As mentioned, the DJI Osmo 360 features Osmo audio, so it's got one of the best audio solutions for any 360 camera, and it has the highest resolution when it comes to photos. It can capture 360 spherical photos at 120 megapixels. That's compared to 72 megapixels of the Insta360 X5 and 29 megapixels of the GoPro Max 2. Now, one of the biggest cons of the Osmo 360 is that it does not have user replaceable lenses. But as mentioned, they do offer a lens replacement service. Now, when we go to the Insta360 X5, it does have a few extra features that these cameras don't have, including something called Instaframe that allows you to capture spherical video and a flat video at the exact same time. With the X5, you can enable and disable HDR as needed. And they have something called adaptive tone, which can really improve the footage in complex lighting conditions. And another big selling point for it is that it's really the only 360 camera that offers ND filters. So those are some of the key selling points of the cameras, but let's get into some footage here, some side-by-side comparisons. Now we're going to start with some low light footage because that can be important to some people. And not necessarily just filming at night, but even just filming in dark environments, sunrise and sunset. The problem with the GoPro Max 2 is that it has a small sensor compared to the Insta360 X5 and the Osmo 360. And it's using the GP2 processor, which is a dated processor, so it can't process the footage quite as nicely as something like the X5 or Osmo 360. In this side-by-side footage here, you can see the GoPro Max 2 is struggling. The video is pretty noisy and it's not really well exposed, whereas the X5 and the Osmo 360 do a pretty good job with exposure for being really dark out, and overall it looks not too bad. So now I'm going to play some 360 footage here for you that's been reframed. I'm going to play a full-size clip from each camera first, and then I'll play back some side-by-side of all three cropped into one image. Now, when you look at that footage, you'll notice that the GoPro Max 2 was not quite as sharp as the X5 and the Osmo 360. I've been using this now for about a week, and I didn't really notice it until I was playing the footage side by side. All three cameras were filming at 8K, 30 frames per second, and all three cameras had high bitrate turned on. When I exported at the max quality of all three cameras. But as you can see, the footage from these two cameras were just a little sharper, and in my opinion, overall better quality. So now I'm going to play some single lens footage here. Now in single lens footage, the GoPro Max 2 does a lot better. I would say that they're all pretty close. In fact, I think the GoPro Max does offer a little bit more detail in some scenarios, especially when you're looking at the clouds. So definitely some interesting results there. I do believe that when it comes to single lens mode, they're all pretty well equal. A lot of that's going to boil down to personal preference on what you think looks best. Definitely when it comes to 360 footage that's been reframed and exported, the X5 and the DJI Osmo 360 do a much better job. Now, when it comes to choosing which camera is right for you, I would highly recommend watching many videos, different comparisons, because everybody's results might be slightly different environments, different days, different lighting. It's a good idea to get a good feel of what each camera can offer, and that way it will help you decide which one is right for you. Now, for myself, if I had to choose one camera, it would definitely be between the Insta360 X5 and the Osmo 360. And I would say they're pretty well even. When it comes to the app for exporting the footage, they all have apps that work pretty well the same. The Insta360 app is definitely more robust. I wouldn't say it's better. It has more options, more editing features. It is a more mature app, but at the end of the day, they all get the job done, and what is easiest is going to depend on the user. Some people might find the GoPro app easier, some people the Insta360 app easier. Myself, after having to sit down and export all this footage, trying to get everything lined up the same, I would have to say my preference is the Osmo 360 when it comes to reframing. Now that's using keyframes. I did find that a little bit easier of a workflow. Mind you, the Insta360 X5 does have some really nice auto framing tools that do make the job a lot easier. In this situation, they don't really help because I was trying to get everything kind of similar, but some people will definitely like that feature. Now for myself, if I had to choose one, it would probably be the Osmo 360. And the reason being is that I really like Osmo audio. That's an important feature for me. But for some people, the X5 might be a better choice just for some of its extra features. Again, it's going to boil down to personal preference and what's important to you. So those are my thoughts comparing these three cameras. And I'd love to hear from you what your thoughts are when it comes to these three cameras, if you've used them all. Also, if there's anything that I forgot that you think is important that a new potential customer should know, again, please leave that down in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it had value. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.